Godspell is returning to Broadway for the first time since its original production over 40 years ago. Today we're heading inside rehearsal to get a sneak peek and chat with the cast.
He will not always try. He will the patient way. His laugh is ever slow to cry. Oh, bless the Lord. Oh, bless the Lord. Oh, bless the Lord.
Godspell's going to be back on Broadway for the first time. Why is this exciting for you?
Well, first of all, everybody keeps saying 40 years, and it makes me feel, don't tell anybody the number. Well, it's my first show, and there have been obviously other New York revivals of it, but to have it be done on Broadway, and particularly at this Broadway theater, the Circle in the Square, which I just think is the perfect place for it.
Godspell is one of the most popular musicals of all time. What are you guys bringing to the table that's new?
Well, we start from the ground up. So we start with the songs, which even those are being created from the ground up with Michael Holland's new arrangements. And this incredible company of actors does something with it that nobody else has ever done before.
If you're going to do a revival and everyone is asking, well, why do it? We have to have our own individual sort of take on it. So taking these parables and sort of creating a lot of this stuff in the room really gives it an individual, specific feel to us and the Godspell of 2011.
It's exciting. It's exciting. It's a classic musical. Stephen Schwartz is amazing, and I'm honored. And it's I get sweaty every time he's in the room because he's so awesome. But it's great to be here. We're all very excited.
Stephen's music is so singable. He writes so well for the voice, especially for women. So I have such an affinity for the female songs in the show. And so I love singing, and I love the new arrangements are very difficult actually. And so I went to, school for music, so it totally satisfies my musician brain. So I love doing that.
People who aren't necessarily religious, can they enjoy the show too?
It's not actually just a religious show. It uses the story of Jesus to tell the story of a group of people who come into a room out of some sort of storm who cannot communicate with each other and find a way to talk to each other in a more deeply felt and more personal way through the teachings of this incredibly charismatic individual.
It's about community and love and goodness to one another. I think, today we're living in a time when a lot of people are faced with a lot of, conflict, war, money. It seems like everything's sort of turning itself upside down, globally, it seems, and the show is really sort of trying to impart that we should be there for one another.
People who love Godspell, who have very fond memories of the show, and there are many of you out there who Godspell was your first high school musical, or Godspell was the first cast recording you bought, or it was the songs you heard it in church, and for people that have a soft spot in their heart, I think we definitely keep the spirit of the show. But what Michael Holland, our arranger, has done with some of these arrangements, you're going to hear the songs in a completely new and fresh way. You're going to see some interesting storytelling and some different theater techniques to try to get across the messages.
The greatest thing I'm looking forward to is sharing the stage with these guys and really just having fun and showing the audience what we've been doing, behind the scenes and the fun that we've been having. I think people will be surprised at how much fun it's going to be, and less of a lesson and more of just a good time.